this is a time when post-COVID, seen huge amount of change, the way hospitality industry is coming up. And when we started this event, when I sent invitation to the leaders of this industry, you will be shocked that every confirmation came. And you will now see how we are blessed today. So to start with, let me invite Mr. H.C. Vinayaka sir. I'm not going to read our entire profile, but we all know him. He's from ITC and he's spearheaded the ITC's mission on sustainability. Thank you, sir. Next, may I invite Raj? Raj is a Senior Area Director, Engineering for Marriott Hotels for Asia. Next, let me call Prakash Kale sir. He is one of senior most member on dais today. He happens to come from, he came all the way from Singapore, though he was not keeping good health. My thanks goes to you, sir. I have Mr. Prem Thakurji. He is a Global Design and Technical Services for Indian Hotels at the Star Group of Hotels. Thank you, Prem. I have Mr. Sashi Kumar, I have Mr. Vipin Thakurji. Vipinji is from, he is Director of Design and Technical Services for Accor Hotels. This Novotel property belongs to them, so thank you so much, sir. I have Mr. Sashi Kumarji from Hyatt. He is Director of India and Southeast Asia for Hyatt Hotels. Welcome, sir. And we have a dashing architect who is doing numerous hospitality projects, architect Reza Kaban. Thank you, Reza. So I think, do you endorse that this is one of the best panel we could put together in such short time? I mean, they all are extremely busy. I know every one of them is traveling almost 20 to 22 days. I keep on sharing messages with Prem and he tells me that you are never there in the office. He has this complaint, but I think because so much of work is happening in the nation on the hospitality, and my all co-consultants sitting here are doing numerous projects. So we are blessed, sir, and special thanks from Ishre and especially Cool Conclave team that you made it in spite of day for yesterday's rain and yesterday's so much of disruptions. And that shows the passion for sustainability, that shows the passion for decarbonization, that shows the passion which all of us here, but especially all of you who could make it, sir. And, sir, I know that you were not well, you were in Bangkok, and I was a little worried, but you made it with your wife, so thanks to her also that she braved. So friends, I think I just saw some beautiful presentation from Vinod, but you did not give a case study of hotels and kitchens where the technology can be very well adopted. So your presentation will be corrected for next time. And this is a huge application where we can save huge energy. So to start, I think, I thought, let us split this today's discussion in 3 parts. And I want it to be very, very interactive with you because I'm going to ask them only one question. I have kept a mic here in the center. Please frame up your question and please come forward, make it interactive. Let us learn whatever we can learn from all these stalwarts. So I think I will start with Prem because you are the person who of course everybody has duties, but we thought we will frame our discussion in 3 parts to start with. When we start a hotel construction or planning, and of course then I will also ask Reza to intervene, both of you, and also Vipinji, because all three of you are primarily doing planning stage activities. So, Premji, tell me, what is the importance of decarbonization now taking shape in the hospital industry, and what are those areas when you start a concept or when you appoint the architect or when you appoint consultants like us, you would like us to really take note of?
Thank you, Pankaj. Before getting to the point, on a personal note, I would like to tell you that yes, I do travel a lot. Last year I clocked around 1 lakh flying hours, which is approximately 21.5 CO2, tons of CO2, which on a personal note I need to offset somewhere. So I need to do my bit for society as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, getting back to the hotel design, yes, it is very important. I would say sustainability starts from drawing board.
Absolutely.
And what I personally believe is profit by design. So a project, if you design and plan well, then it will take care through the life of the project or through the shelf life of the project. So proper planning and designing is imperative, very important, and Reza would agree to it. Reza has been working with us for many projects, and yeah, starts right from selection and orientation of your building, doing the sun path analysis, so that you avoid the heat island effects, doing the wind flow analysis, so that you orient your building in such a way that there's no hot spots in the building. I would like to make one thing very clear. This is not an ideal situation, but wherever possible, we try to do this. Third most important point would be the facade optimization, which plays an important role in a hotel. Doing a proper facade analysis, getting maximum daylight into the building would eventually save on your OPEX cost as well, and then transmittance and radiation. Then comes your energy efficiency when you do the high side installation of utilities, complying with the ECPC codes or doing better than that. So I have various consultant friends in this gathering who help a lot to achieve those, including you, Mr. Dakar. We also put an emphasis on renewable energy, to ensure that at least 50% of on-site is achieved by renewable energy. It could be on-site or off-site. So yes, these points are very important in designing a hotel.
Thank you, sir. But Reza, are you able to achieve all of this? Because I know a lot of work today happens through developers and builders. They also, the hotel operators also go through developers, and we all know what pressures you could be under. They will like to squeeze on each square inch, and they will like to build many more rooms than what is legally allowed also sometimes. So I know your pressures could be extreme, but how the sensitivity goes up for an architect when the sustainability goes, sir?
Good morning, and thank you, Ishre, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and to answer your question, we are the first among all the stakeholders who get into the project, and after the client has bought the parcel of land, in very rare cases it is where we get a choice. The client takes it to the site and he says he's got 2 parcels of land and which one we could be choosing. That's in a very rare situation, because land is very scarce, so whatever he gets, he takes it. And after the Vastu consultant gives us the guidelines that you have to enter from here, and this is the setbacks and all that.
Does that interference too much from Vastu also?
Absolutely. Most of the projects have this criteria. And after, getting through all these barriers, you come to the design board. I say we should design sensibly. That's the first thing that an architect or a designer should keep in mind when he's starting a project. It's not that, you bear in mind, of course, the sun path, you bear in mind the wind, all these are there, but you have to design sensibly. You have to keep in mind the materials that you're using, the way you orient the building, the way you orient the windows, the size of the windows. All these play a very important factor in the design. And later on, when you get into the actual working and the running of the project, it's very important because that is your how sustainable you've got into, what your carbon emission is coming to. So materials, location, how you place the building, that's very important.
Thank you, Raj. I think I'll move to Vipin Bhai. I think Accor has come up with many initiatives, and of course, going forward towards interior, when architect designs it, what are your key inputs to them, which on today's new projects you are ensuring?
Thank you, Pankaj ji. Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. We definitely work very closely with the architects from the planning stage, and architecture is the first thing that determines the, how efficient that building would be from energy point of view. When we didn't have this active systems, and we have to learn from our past, we used to have such beautiful buildings without air conditioning, and we used to get this temperature of 27, 29, 30 degrees using the passive means. So passive energy saving is very, very important, and we definitely interact with the architects, and our standards also are very, very sensitive about how to save energy. So from architecture, then we move to the interiors. And interior designing, we have to use the right materials, and we have taken a lot of initiatives in that regard. For example, we go for certified, eco-certified products. For example, right from the paint should be a low VOC, less formaldehyde. Then we are taking an initiative to use less of chrome, because chrome takes a lot of energy. So wherever possible, we should reduce the use of chrome. Perhaps other than plumbing fixtures, we should avoid. Then carpets, from carpet to textiles, we go for certified. We have OEK text certification. We insist on that. Basically, these certifications ensure that what you are using is locally made and is not traveled too much. Similarly, for wood, we like to source the woods from the local sustainable forests, from the sustainable areas. So we ask for a PEFC or FSC certification. And these are all international certifications, but I hope and pray that we should have these Indian certifications in future. And for all our products, because we cannot go into detail and depth for everything. So these certifications help us to use the right product. They ensure that this particular product, this fabric, this material, this style, this flooring, this all eco-certified. So once we do that, we definitely contribute. And apart from, I would like to add, environment, we also have a social responsibility. We call it ESG in Accor. We call it environmental and social governance. When we say social, what we are asking for to use local employees around the building. What we are asking for is to grow our local vegetables within the building. Use organic vegetables. Everything counts. You use less pesticide. So everything comes together, and we save on environment.
Thank you, Vipin Bhai. I think we are also trying during this conference, our guests get millet food, and we are also, Anshul team is also measuring the carbon footprint of even that, and your chefs and everybody is cooperating. So thank you so much, Accor Group, for that. But coming to you, Kale Saab, I think I would like what Hilton is doing on this initiative on decarbonization, and if you could update us, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dakar, and hello,
I
everyone.
think there is a slide, Jitender, sir wanted to explain through the slide.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Ishre, and the entire team to have me here today, and it really feels good to be here. Thank you. So I would like to quickly explain to you what at Hilton what we do. And most of you know that Hilton is more than 100 years old company. We are operating more than 7,600 hotels worldwide. We have more than 1.2 million guest rooms all over the world. We have more than 3,000 new projects in pipeline. So you can imagine it's a big operation.
Absolutely.
And with every big operation, it comes a lot of energy and waste. So at Hilton, we are very mindful of that, and we have this corporate responsibility as we brought it up earlier. Some of these key elements I would like to walk you through with few slides. Is the statement from our president and CEO, Chris Naseta, who actually has formed a very large level organization within the company to make everybody accountable and responsible for the sustainability, for the environmental future of this planet. And we believe that as a very large force, as a very large work group, we not only are responsible, but we are able to manage that very well in last few years. And I would like to quickly share a report which is the results from 2023, just a couple of pages before I would like to tell you more about what we specifically would do here. So if you can please go to page 2. So we set up this program in 2018. I think you skipped a page. Yeah, thank you. We set up this program in 2018, which was a bit ambitious, and we of course got affected by so many uncontrolled parameters in the world. But we came up with this program which is called Travel with Purpose. And let me explain to you what Travel with Purpose is about. It's all right, not too many slides, just 2, 3. Thank you. So Travel with Purpose is one of our key program which talks about what people, thank you, what we as team members, what we as company managers, what we as the designers, what are responsible to the satisfaction that the guests get, no doubt about it, but what they actually should feel responsible as a sustainability and environmental solution as a overall growth to the company and to the nation. So there are several programs which have been introduced part for this Travel with Purpose, and this is to basically achieve the goal for organization for ESG, which is the environmental social governance, and that we have successfully built this program, and some of the good examples are right on your screen. So I'll give you only a few examples, and one of the ESG is the light stay. Light stay in the Hilton organization means energy reporting system, that each property has to, at the end of the month, report the amount of consumption they have done on each of the energy sources. How do they and where do this come from? Track that and make sure that next time we do a better work in energy efficiency. We're also responsible for what we buy, not only the furniture and the beds and goods, but the food and all day-to-day consumption items. Where we buy it from, are we doing that right thing from getting it from the right sources? We work with the partnership with the right people. We have established a Hilton Global Foundation network, which we grow with and help people who are in hardship, such as some countries having some disasters. We have team member training. We have the guidance for the hotel owners to have checklists on sustainability. We also have the customers that we assure them that they are travel with more sustainable solution, as what Mr. Dharkar said. So just a last slide, and I'll explain to you. All right, so these are the key achievements which have been done over the years. And this, you can see the results on the screen. And I'll share this slide, this is public information. And in the last slide, I would like to okay, so this is in summary a example
beautifully explained.
of what we can do actually. There are 27 different criteria that have been listed out, and you can definitely take time to read it, quite interesting. But we also have a lot of credits in terms of the reduction done 45% in carbon emission as based 2008 guideline. I would like to just sum up Mr. Dhakar's question on two things. One is that we talked about this morning in the breakfast table that every time people go to the guest room, the guest rooms are freezing cold.
At 18 degree.
At 18 degrees. And many times people like to cover themselves.
And let me tell you, it is not only this hotel or
Everywhere.
Marriott
No, it's everywhere.
Hilton,
I mean,
but it is our
hotels
experience of everyone, sir.
So the obvious psychology is that when you check in the hotel, even I do travel myself many times, they will give me 2 key cards, and I said, I'm by myself. Oh, no, one is to put in the slot, and when you can take it out. So that actually defeats the whole purpose of energy saving. That key card slot is supposed to turn off the lights and set the energy to the eco mode. And we realize that that has been just defied by the housekeeping, by our own team as well as the guests, and we can't blame them for that. So we designed this new system which is called guest room energy management system. We've been working on that for the last 15 years, and we have successfully established that in several properties. I'm happy to give a small presentation to Ishel, a separate group, or make a paper for you, and which has been very robust program and has been well developed and well implemented with our partners in this.
Sir, what is happening as a consultant, many such initiatives which have come with some special guest room management system have been rather expensive, and as I told you that most of us are working through developers and builder where each room cost is being monitored, and in the process sometimes I have seen the systems are costing 2 to 3 lakh rupees. He will rather spend it on interiors and he is not bothered because it is so expensive. But my one fan coil will cost me 20,000 rupees, but the control is costing 2 lakhs, so it is not getting implemented.
True.
And therefore the need is, I think, to this audience also, there are many good people here who are doing smart work, and there are many youngsters here. I think we should come up with some solutions which addresses the occupancies, sensors, you addresses this, and it has to be a win-win situation. The cost comes down. I think the implementation will also improve. So some sacrifices, but not compromising on energy side and temperature set points could really benefit not only industry, that hotel operator, the operating cost, but also to the nation. I think it is going to be a big cost because every room is today operating 24/365 in all 5-star properties, right, sir?
Yes, absolutely. And you are absolutely right, Mr. Dhaker. When we started this program in 1998 in Chicago, we actually were keeping the rooms at 45 minutes to convert into a non-occupied mode. Today, we are doing at 18 minutes on average on hotels, and there are 2 properties in Bangkok. I'm operating at 12-minute cycle now. So it's changing, and there are some of the partners I'm working in India as well. We are also interested in finding local partners in India for our own local projects to go down to even 8 minutes or 10 minutes further down, and the costs which I've been given very encouraging prices now by some of the local vendors. So thank you for that. The other thing which I want to highlight on, I predominantly handle, I work on almost 17 countries working out of Singapore office, and my major chunk of work is in India and in Japan. And when I travel between Japan and India, I feel there's a huge difference in the way the systems or the buildings are designed. And in Japan, everything is designed to the last nut, bolt and screw, and everything is specified on the piece of paper before it is implemented. Apart from, it is actually, when it is installed, it is thoroughly tested. And that I found bit of lacking in many countries, just not in India, but many neighboring countries. And we have implemented this testing commissioning program for the last few years, which actually is going to bring back the building to the original design efficiency. As what Mr. Reza said, it should be going back to the basic on the drawing board. And if you are able to do that, that will be a success story. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for updating us. And I'm sure, sir, I think on the comfort side, I would urge my ISHRE leadership to work with hospitality chain. And this is such an important subject. Very people think it is a small room, but it is contributing to huge energy consumption. So I think I would urge our leadership, and we have a team which is working on thermal comfort. We have stalwarts here in this hall also. We must work out a strategy for guest room comfort. I think it's a very serious subject to me.
Yeah, so in my next visit to India, I'm willing to give you a design and a small presentation
Sure.
whenever you require it, and you can use it. I'm happy to guide through in that program.
Thank you, sir. Moving to Raj, I think you just moved back to India from Bangkok, and you are operation head for Marriott Group, which is having maximum footprint currently and under execution hotel projects. So, sir, how can hospitality business set realistic and impactful decarbonization targets, and what are the best practices for tracking the progress and measuring the success of sustainability initiative?
Thank you, Mr. Sarkar, and good morning.
And by the way, I had not gone through your profile in detail, but I just now saw that you are an HVAC specialist from Chennai. So you graduated from HVAC, so that's at my comfort levels.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I did my Master of Engineering in HVAC in my university.
Great.
And good morning once again, team, to all of you. I think operating the hotel for the guest comfort has become a thing of past, in my opinion. Now we are moving into the era where we need to operate responsibly, and it is not just Marriott. I'm sure all the major companies have their own programs in different names. We call this as SRO, Sustainable Responsible Operation, rather than just operating the guest rooms and hotel for the guest comfort. So how can we be a better, sustainable and responsible operator moving forward? So you need to comply to the guest comfort, as well as we need to comply to the sustainability as well. So what we are doing is, we started in 2016 a in-house program called Serve 360 in Marriott, and we set our own targets using a third party, how much each continent can. Again, this is global exercise, and then we see as a company how much we can save, what can we do, and how can we break this down into different continents and all that. Later on in 2019, we signed up for net zero. Again, this Serve 360 was our internal program, and in 2019 we moved to net zero, where our company signed up for a net zero by 2050. That's the long-term plan. We also have a mid and short-term plan for the same, which is aimed at 2030. So now we can see a little bit more about how we set this target for our hotels. So the first process is the baseline, setting up the baseline year. We took 2019 as baseline year in Marriott. I'm sure each company will have a little different baseline for their organizations. And after setting this baseline, we move on to the target year. Here we see 2070 as one of the target year. So each company can have a little different target year. In our case, it is 2050. We are sticking to that and adopting to that. So once we set the baseline year and target year, we know how many years is in your hands and how much you are supposed to reduce. So this is the first step, in my opinion. And we saw in your presentation yesterday as well, very nicely given all this data, whatever I'm talking, it might be a little repetition to you, but the process is set globally, right? This breakdown of the data target is done by again the same agency based on the performance of each and every hotel, where are they currently placed, and what is the headroom left. Headroom is the extent to which they can improve. There are some hotels which might be already sitting at very low intensity, energy intensity, so the headroom is less over there. There are some hotels which is sitting at very high energy intensity, so they can reduce a lot. So based on all these minute calculations, we go back to each hotel and say, hey, this is your target set for the next 2 years and until 2030. So there are long-term and short-term targets available. So this is how we set as a whole target.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that update. I was very happy to know that you have already set by 2030 42% reduction. I think it is very important because yesterday also we saw presentation from Dr. Anita Gupta ji and various other people. 2030 is very important because we are talking about 1.5 degree tilting point. So it is important that hospitality industry is also going on that route. I think 5-6 years back, I never used to hear from Marriott Group that the building needs to be certified by any agency. But today, when we get RFQs from day one, we talk about sustainability, we talk about certification. We also talk about which specific certification is going through. So I think there is a good change happening from everyone. And of course, ITC had been always going to platinum for the time I started knowing them, but all other chains are also picking up. So that is a great sign. But coming and touching another aspect, which is a very serious matter for all of us, and which is to do with EV charging. And I think I go to Sashiji because this is such a sensitive subject. I would like you to tell us how the Hyatt Group is pursuing about even electrical vehicle charging infrastructure in promoting the sustainability in hospitality and related matters. Because to architects, to any MEP or a fire consultant is also going to be a sensitive issue when my national building code even doesn't address as many aspects of it. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dakar. Good morning, everyone, and thanks to the organizers for this lovely opportunity. When we talk about EV charging stations, the significance of EV charging stations for the hotels is that to attract, or basically is to attract people who are looking for such eco-friendly, sustainable solutions in their hotel. Having said that, these eco-friendly systems have to be functional. That's very important. Just having it for just a checkbox will not help. I have seen many hotels, including ours, there are some faults. I do agree, and we corrected it. Having these EV charging station, because it is there in the brand guideline. We just follow, and then we provide 2-3 car parks in the basement, which will not work. Actually, it has to be accessible for the guest, easily accessible for the guest. And on top of it, very important aspects you did mention about fire and life safety. Having a EV charging station next to a diesel or a petrol-driven car parked,
Absolutely.
that's going to, we are looking for a time bomb there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So so while designing, we have to make these provisions of EV charging stations on the ground level, preferably, or in open air, and away from other parkings. So that's the very important factor going forward.
Reza, you want
It's
to?
become mandatory to put it on the surface. You're not allowed in the basement anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's actually a fire hazard.
Yes,
So-
yes, that's what happens. But we have
Many times, sir, the landscape consultant, specifically in hospitality segment, is so tightly placed after architect has not left much space that we don't get space on ground also.
You're right. When it comes to hotels, always, first thing is look and feel. They don't want to have a EV charging station in a very nice lot. They always want to put it behind. It can be a problem of design, it can be a problem, but it can be worked around. We have so many fantastic minds we're working with. There are a lot of people who have solutions to it. We can work around it, and then it has to be a functional one. Just having it is not enough, but it has to be a functional one. So in Hyatt, we have started making it as a brand guideline to have this in the ground level, as he said. When the local regulations also ask for it. So we have started doing this, and then going forward, this is going to be in all the buildings, just not the hotel, but also in any even there are on the highways. I do see a lot of restaurants do have EV charging stations. That's going to be mandatory for all the commercial segments, I believe. So, thank you.
Thank you. I think this problem could be more acute towards mixed-use buildings where you have shopping areas and some residential coupled with the hotels which are coming up, 4-star or 5-star in current cases also. So I think moving to Vinayaka Sahab, I think we all know that all ITC hotels are all platinum certified. You have superb strategies. We are very proud of Indian chain doing that as a prime mover. And sir, what are the key challenges this business faced, and how did they overcome all this? And any case studies you would like to tell people here, the delegates here, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pankaj. Also the Ishre giving us that opportunity to share, and all the members. I'll keep it very brief because it is case studies, challenges. It may take hours and hours. So, actually, the journey started not maybe 1 or 2 years back. It has started about 10, 15 years back. One of my panel members, many of the people have spoken about the design, some have the current operation, etc. When we started this journey, way back in 2010-11, already we had building. Like that, for example, this, no hotel. Already it has been built. And again, when I'm saying, when once it is built, how it can make a net zero or a carbon neutral building. That is a big challenge. Also, when Yogesh Bhai was just mentioning, we have about 50 to 60,000 star hotels, about 1.5 non-star hotels, lakhs. Already has been built. Can you imagine? It is impossible, or it takes a long time to convert them to a net zero or a carbon neutral or whatever the reduction programs. When we embarked this journey, that was the big challenge. New buildings can be designed because of technologies, availability of material, training, etc., etc. It can be designed more efficiently. But what about the old building? What about heritage building? What about the building where the builder don't have that much of funds? That is a big challenge which needs to be addressed. Because if you don't address that, that is, you are not identifying the elephant in the room. When we started this, first and the foremost, the aspect which has to be focused, like all other panel members mentioned, is energy efficiency, water efficiency, and waste efficiency. These are the 3 different areas. Efficiency means what? I am running a building, it is using say 100 units, I can bring it to 70, say 60, 40% I can reduce it by changing the equipment, bringing the new practices, training, sensitizing my associates, etc., etc. But what about the other 60? Can you make it 0? That is a thought which has emerged those days and which has culminated today. About 12 of our buildings, hotel buildings, are LEED Zero carbon certified or net zero carbon. When I'm saying this, I'm only referring to scope 1 and scope 2. There are many areas of the scope 3 which needs to be addressed still. How we went through this? Identify as hotel, which is easier to do because low hanging fruit. Identify a hotel. First, increase your demand side management, address those, bring 30-20% efficiency, either by HVAC optimizing, or by using the main facade designing, or by proper training. Let me tell you, when we did that, only by proper sensitization and the training, 20% of the energy can be reduced. This is a fact. Like members were mentioning just now, the temperature 18 degree, when the design is 22, even the 22 plus or minus 2 is people are keeping it 20. That is only the training parts and the sensitization parts comes into picture. Second one is whatever the technology you bring, maintaining that technology. I may be having a beautiful BMS system, but if it is not maintained, end of the day, my technician is using it like an on-off switch.
You are right, sir. Most of
That is the fact. Or the thing is that if I have a boiler, efficiency is say 90+%. If I don't do the descaling, if I don't do the proper steam management, and if I don't have the condensate written proper, and it is no use. It is like your hot water, you are boiling and giving to the areas. So like that, maintenance is the second part. So coming back to the world, we identified one hotel. First we thought, how do we reduce it? After achieving that particular thing, how to make it zero, that hotel. Scope 1 and scope 2. So luckily, where the governance in that particular state, which is Karnataka, was good, we are having the wheeling and banking arrangement. I'm talking about not now. Now it is each state, it is a standard. It has everyone has come into this picture. That is wheeling and banking was there. So we have our own invested in our windmill. We started banking the power and using it in the lean period. So like that, entire scope 3, scope 2 was taken care. Scope 1, where converted everything into an electrical boiler or electrical kitchen equipments. That takes care of on-site burning of the fuel, which is scope 1. Scope 2, getting the power from the outside, off-site, because people say that, okay, I'll reduce 50% of my, or use my energy on-site renewables, which is very, very challenging. Because in a hotel like in Delhi, where in the center of city, your footprint is 4 acre, 3 acre, whatever, small one, how much energy you can generate? It's impossible to have. So off-site is the one which is lucrative, which can be achieved. And mind you, no builder, no corporates, no owners will invest if it is not giving you return on investment. So keep it in mind, it has to give a return on investment of say 5 year, 4 year, whatever. You call it as IRR, internal rate of hurdle, different organizations has something like that. So if it meets, then only they will pitch it. So we achieved that, making it wind energy, wind farms, giving to the particular hotels. Scope 2 and scope 1 was taken care of. And what about scope 1, the boiler? We have generators in the boiler and the kitchen equipment. We did something like a fuel switch. Means all our boilers today is electrical boiler fed by the renewable energy. So can you imagine the temperature in the boiler room is very good, no noise. These are all, and no emissions. These are all the other side benefits of this. All these 12 orders, thanks to Raman is here, Mr. George is here, Rishabh as well as Ashu, they're all their efforts, they're brainstormed, thought through how to go about it. Today 12 of our hotels are LEED zero carbon or the net zero carbon hotels. After all this, what about the scope 3? In the scope 3 in an hotel industry, we have used a lot of F&B items. Can we do the low cover? Means produce locally, can increase that portion. Today about more than 50%, whatever the material we source, operating materials, is within a particular range or the kilometers, 100 meter, 100 kilometer, answer 100 miles or 200 miles. Like that, we have we have classified and used. So, cost-wise, when you have a net zero building or LEED zero carbon certified building, cost-wise also it will give you return on investment about 5 to 6 years. I'll not give you the rest of the statistics. You're most welcome to come. We'll have a discussion, or you can visit our hotels, have a look. Seeing is believing. We can have a conference like this, discuss. We can give you the top. But the real thing is, as a professional, go have a look, punch the holes, make them improve further, and lastly is seeing is believing. Convince yourself and then only embark this journey, or else it is just a lip service or a greenwash. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving that insight and how ITC has moved towards carbon neutrality. I think, sir, when during the COVID time, we were all worried and we thought, what is going to happen to our future business? And it was with that intention, of course, this is what you said about innovating our existing hotel stock, which is very important. And how do we bring down energy level there? From Ashocham Jain, as a chairperson, we had done number of initiatives. Those were digital experiences, but I was fortunate to have entire air conditioning industry, Starboard, from Daikin, from Carrier, from York, from all companies had participated with World Bank team from New York, and also from Bureau of Energy Efficiency, because they have a very excellent ESCO model, and you will be surprised to know that 9 of the banks in the country have this parallel possibility where a financing can be done at a very economic cost, but maybe my industry have not used it. There are very few people who are doing performance contracting as a business. To me, I think this hall has a huge opportunity learning from your initiatives, where owner doesn't want to put upfront cost, but there is a possibility of, because we all know that 20 years back, the chiller efficiencies were X, and in fact, my input is not 6 years. Every chiller can give you ROI of 3 years, or a nice working BMS system. I'm again repeating working BMS system, because you rightly said that it is mostly being used as a on-off tool in most of the hotels. And currently my chiller manufacturers have come up with nice CPM, pump manufacturers have come up with several drives which have potentials. So there is a 100% case where every project probably can, wherever retrofitting can be done without putting owner's capital cost. The young generation here who could be groomed for a nice testing, balancing, and they can really save a lot of money to the ownership and to the nation. And these programs, I think we have a responsibility. I think if hotel operators tell their builder owners, and if consultants sitting here and BMS suppliers, chiller manufacturers come, take it as a drive, it can be a huge potential of business, which I can see, because while 70% of India is still to be built, several hotels are existing for last 20-25 years, which are eyeing at upgradations. And I think these are the easiest fit. We all know that we are changing from boilers to heat pumps. We have some excellent stalls here from heat pump manufacturers, and you rightly said the boilers are getting shifted to heat pumps also. Heat pumps are getting very popular. Earlier there was a limitation of water temperature from 55 to 60 degree. We were not able to recover heat. There are several manufacturers which are able to pump back the chilled water which is coming out of heat pump, and we are all doing it. Means most of our consultants, and because of your pressures, everybody is doing it. But why not go to a massive scale where it can be a huge business opportunity also, and it can make our entire industry more sustainable. It is the operating cost, which we all know that 55% is HVAC cost in any of the hotel operations. So I think it can be a big I would say, service to the nation and to the operator. So I think I will come back with few questions, and here is a mic. I would like you to stand there, introduce yourself, and you can be specific to anybody for that I will like questions to be very crisp so that I can take more questions. We have limited time. And I will also request you to be very crisp so that, and of course, we have lunch session, dinner session, everything happening. But one thing we are going to do today is to recognize in the evening during our Decarbonization Award, which is going to be a fantastic evening for all of you. It is never done in this country, which is going to happen this evening. And there, one category is also retrofit. And you will come to know some fantastic jobs. I think my jury members gave me input that this time the entries were phenomenal. So don't miss the evening. I think you are going to learn a lot. Over to you, sir. So first introduce briefly and then put a question.
Thank you. Since I am very close to the mic, I thought I will start first. One information, two questions. I'll make it short. One information is now with the ECBC code is getting converted to the SBC code, Sustainability Code, wherein the 20% parking should have an EV station. I think that's going to be a big hit for the hotel industry to manage. Not only safety.
Sir, थोड़ा बता दीजिए श्रेय ने क्या किया उसके साथ में वो भी थोड़ा लाइक.
And also on the substation capacity. That's one information. The question is on the scope 3 emission, Vinayaka was mentioning. Only specifically I want to know how this upstream emission working on capital goods and gust travel can be optimized. What are the action and strategies you have, anybody? Second, on the guest room, particularly on the guest room water consumption. I know you are doing good on recycling, reuse, rainwater harvesting, but when it comes to the usage of water in the guest room, it's a luxury segment. It's a huge burden for the hotel industry to manage. And these are the two questions from my side. Thank you.
Just, sorry, I missed the first.
Yeah, scope 3, particularly in upstream, guest travel and capital goods purchase. Yeah, what are the strategies you have to optimize?
See, guest travel don't have much control from the hotel side. Unless until you have a hotel which is also having a travel, when travel agencies are linked to this. The one influence that most of the hotels industry can do is when they are linking or when they are having association with the travel companies like a car rental, etc., they can also insist, okay, you wanted to have some business from us or your people have some incentives, so then you can have an EV charging, your car should be an EV, those can be done. But only the thing is, from check-in to check-out, that is what I can see here, is from the person enters your premises to a check-out, what are all the controls or what are all the improvements that he can do. Only the thing when a guest check out, airline has their own things, travel has their own things. Only we can influence them or we can, in many of the forums like travel industry forums, these points can be raised. Second part of yours is scope 3 when it comes to the goods and the thing which we purchase. When you are purchasing the good, when normally give preference to the local so that your footprint, your travel footprint of those goods can be reduced, number 1. 2 is when you are having the food, we did that is still on, we did an experiment of all the F&B items, food and beverage items, when we are measuring the carbon footprint of each of those items, sensitize the guest. In my menu card, like nowadays it has what is the calorie, what is the cost, what is the calorie of each item, etc., etc. There is also an item of how much is the carbon footprint it is creating. We can make awareness to the guests saying that if you are having this particular dish, carbon footprint is this, we prefer to have this. That is the one exercise which we are on now. 2-3 restaurants we have started. That is the scope 3 thing. Third one is embodied carbon of the materials which you are using for a day-to-day operations. That operators can control. In a design stage, definitely it can be arrived at. These are all the various things that as an hotel industry we can work.
So do you think that after a few days having a salmon from Arctic is going to be an issue?
We are only making the guest aware of what is the carbon footprint of that particular item. So it is his choice how he can contribute.
Pankaj bhai, we have to
That
keep
was on
our-
a light.
Pankaj bhai, as a session chair, I'm just keeping informed.
So I will take last question.
Two last questions you can.
I'm also here, Pankaj bhai.
No, I will not allow Iyengar to speak. Let us
Good morning,
have
sir.
another delegate.
My name is Kailas Khade. We are into a lot of retrofits. So there was a discussion on retrofits. So all decision makers are here. I just have a question. I go with many proven savings with many of the corporates and many companies. Everybody says if it is giving 2 years payback period, then only come to us. So is it?
Sir has clarified to you that in his organization they have gone with life cycle cost analysis and
Okay.
even 5 to 6 years have been found by them very reasonable.
Yeah.
So I think you need to find a sensible client who talk about
Okay, thank you so much.
Question, see, he said that ECS, PCs come, Ishre has been in the forefront of that. Pankaj and all our team has been coordinating with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and we were involved deeply in getting the codes through, and now to your this that Bureau of Energy Efficiency and the Power Ministry has approved the ESPC code, which will be now notified shortly.
Thank you for
Yes.
updating.
Yes.
Our stars are coming
Yes.
here now. Ashish is also expected. Can I have a next question, sir? Just introduce yourself. quickly.
Good morning. I'm Avinash. I am Executive Director of the Earthhood. We're the world's largest carbon verification company. One small question. What the hotel industry is doing with respect to procuring sustainable textile, because you people use a lot of fabrics, bed sheets, textile. I think traditional textile use 10,000 liters of water per kg. So I think this can be reduced a lot with the help of procuring sustainable textile products. So just any points on that? Thank you.
We are all taking a note, sir.
Anybody will like to answer you from Vipinji?
See, we like to have certified textiles with less energy imports, like he's asking. So if we have Indian certification system, that's what I requested. If we can have certain certification system by which hotel companies can know that this fabric has the less resins in it, is properly procured and has less energy, and end of the use it can be disposed of without any non-biodegradable products. So if that can happen, that will help us.
Thank you. I will take last two questions.
question, Vishal
One
and
from
Prabhu,
Vishal and one from
Because
Prabhu.
we need to conclude.
So hi, I'm Vishal Kapoor. I represent a contracting company and I've worked with nearly all the brands sitting over here, multiple properties. And I'm going to be asking something very simple and very basic. Two questions to anyone. Number one is the major expansion in the hotel sector right now is actually happening through the developer market, the operation mode. And in those markets, we see all kinds of technologies being put up. We talked a lot about chillers and building management systems. We see more and more projects going the VRF route. How do we address all the targets you've taken of 2030, 2050, when it's all builder-based models, and a lot of times the hotel operator actually comes in towards the end of the project, not even in the beginning of the project. And the second thing is a very basic question, I think, which everyone in this room would love to ask, and we face it when we go to hotel, and hotel chief engineers and hotel engineering teams and the hotel managers tell us, I want 20 degrees in the banquet, I want 21 degrees in the ADD, and are there any set points which you're putting that no one can ever bring the temperature below this, irrespective of a client or a guest experience? I'm sorry, I'm asking a very straightforward question.
I can take the first one. Maybe Raj can take the second one. Yeah.
You are taking simpler question.
No, I speak from experience. So yes, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because management contracts are difficult. With our own asset, we can do whatever we want. But management contracts are difficult. It is developer driven. But that is where we have partners like our consultants, like Mr. Darkar, Rishabh, Ashu, and all of them. So they are in line with our brand guidelines. And together we really fight with the developers and push our standards. And I would say, yes, we do succeed maybe 95% of the time.
He may not agree with that, but I think it is a joint effort of consultant and operator. If they give strength to consultants here, probably his number could come. But there are, the capital cost pressures, yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so to take up the second question, which is setting up low temperature, right? 18 degree, 19 degree when you get into the guest rooms. Yes, this needs a constant education, and we are in the service industry, the guest-oriented industry, where we cannot firmly tell. But there will be a day, in my opinion, where the regulations will overtake the guest comfort. There will be a day, but as of today, and now. So 24 is right now viewed as a guideline, but there will be a day it will become a mandate, in my opinion.
Sir, आपके जो specifications है, sorry.
Conclave, hoping for the day when architects and IDs allow good-looking fans in guest rooms and allow temperatures to be set at 26 degrees. We are waiting for that day.
Fantastic. I think, sir, when we initiated this place to be having our conference, and I think my Jaipur team, I requested them, they met your chief engineer, Vipin Bhai, and day for yesterday also I had to take a meeting with hotel team, and I had to literally scold them that I don't want temperature going below 24 degrees, because we are talking about carbon monitoring, we are going to measure the carbon levels, and believe me that it is a tough time, but today I think we are a little better. We are not below 23, I believe so, but you are going to get the carbon footprint of this hall later. Yes, last question to you, sir. Last question.
This is Prabhu.
And all of them are going to be with us for some time, so
sure.
you can always...
Yeah, because this is a general question which I think everybody needs to know.
Please.
I am into the domain of kitchen ventilation, and there is now a set point in kitchen ventilation that the kitchen temperature has to be at 26 degrees. And being a once-through system, it is a huge load on the air conditioning system, and I don't know where is the genesis for this 26 degrees, because when I talk to the chef, they are very uncomfortable because they are standing in front of the tandoor, they are standing in front of a Chinese burner, they have a degree, 70, 80, 100 degrees in front of them, and they are showered with, 26 degrees. It's a huge impact on their health also. So I really want to know whether 26 thermal comfort has been, anybody has done research on that 26 is thermal comfort for
Very
the
good
chef.
question, very good question. Who will take it, sir? Shashi, yes.
I'll take this question. Yeah, first is about hygiene. Second is about the comfort of the people working there. Considering this, most of our standards are written that this is the, if you ask me, is there a science behind it? Definitely, there would have been a science, but I was not part of the think tanks, so I can't completely tell you, this is what it is, honestly. But our brand guidelines says 26 degrees, considering these two factors of hygiene and the comfort of the staff, associates we call, working there. So, we can play with 1-2 degree up and down, but we have to really see. That's a fantastic question, actually.
Sir, I can tell
wakes
you,
me up.
you just saw before we started, there was a presentation on 2-stage cooling, and we can even extend it to 3-stage. But if the hotel operators accept 30 degrees, sir, I can tell you it can be a huge saving on chiller loads, all aspects, and what Prabhu has come out with. I thank you, Prabhu. And he's also a person who is helping ISHRE to create guidelines for kitchen ventilation. He's a very stalwart person. But I must request you and all hotel operators that we should rethink about this. It is going to help us immense way. And that's just a request, but because we are going towards decarbonization. When my temperature in room, we are talking about going from 21 to 24 degree. This kitchen once through system. And of course, many clients, many times we design systems with various interactive hoods. We design with with various systems. The hood cost becomes so much that at the end he doesn't buy those hoods. Yeah. And in the bargain, we are not having those air curtain effects, and we lose on this very big cost. I think you can interact later because we like to close. All of you are now with a beautiful scarf. You like to have a beautiful photograph after this session. Over to you to conclude.
Before I summarize, I think our Reza Kabul sir wants to make some last point, and quickly, then I will wrap up the session after you.
So I just want to add one thing, as architects and designers, we are responsible, and we have to design responsibly and sensibly. whenever we design a building, we are doing it for a couple of generations. So we have to bear in mind that the building can be reused after some time. Because what we saw during COVID, there were projects which we were doing as hotels, we converted them and we made them into offices. And there were projects which we, after some time, there were office buildings because people were not getting into offices, they were working from home. We made them into hotels. So, as architects and designers, I think, that is one very important point that whenever we design, we have to keep in mind that the building can be reused in a different way without being pulled down. Because that itself is sustainable.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. I will quickly summarize and then we'll move towards the felicitation program. So I personally enjoyed, and I'm pretty sure all the audience have enjoyed, because the way the questions, I had seen a queue of people wanting to throw questions. Just to quickly summarize. So the importance of proper planning, design, architecture, interior design is very, very important for this industry overall, because from the stage of planning, the use of renewable energy is very important. The selection of the material, the local material. So overall selection of the material in right from the building to the interiors is very, very important. Today, ESG as a word, we got a great explanation, which is very important in this hospitality industry. I for the first time, SRO is a word which probably the all audience must have enjoyed. The sustainable, responsible operation. We touched upon the importance of maintenance, which as a contractor, I'm very, very happy to see, which came out, because once the systems are installed, the maintenance and operations becomes very important to maintain the sustainability and the net zero operation. So the ROI, the IIR was also discussed, which is also very important. One thing personally, me, at the start, the Vastu consultant's role was very, very surprising to me, but that's a part and parcel of our industry. So that's all from my side. A big applause for this. If you all have enjoyed, I would like to thank you.
To me, I think this track could have happened for 3 to 4 hours, or maybe a full day is required. So this can be taken to various chapters of ISHRE, and that's all I have to say. This was too short a time, but this is a dream which has come true, that all the hotel operators are here. And of course, some team members from Trident and Leela couldn't join because of daily problem of rain, but we will have them in our next session. So thank you so much once again.
Many thanks to all the dignitaries on stage. May I request Mr. Yogesh Thakkar to please felicitate them. Our moderator for the session, Mr. Pankaj Darkar, Presidential Member ISHRE, Chairman Cool Conclave. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. H.C. Vinayak, Mr. Prakash Kale, Mr. Raj Saravanan, Mr. Prem Thakur, Mr. Vipin Thakur, Mr. Chakoli Shashikumar, Mr. Riza Kabul, Mr. Pankaj Darkar. Mr. H.C. Vinayak, he is the Vice President, Technical EHS and Sustainability of the ITC Hotels. Mr. Prakash Kaleji, the Senior Director, Technical Services, Hilton Worldwide. Mr. Raj Saravanan, Senior Air Director of Engineering, Marriott Hotels. Mr. Prem Thakur, Global Design and Technical Services, The Indian Hotels. Mr. Vipin Thakur, the Director, Design and Technical Services, Accor Hotels. Mr. Chakoli Shashi Kumar, Director, India and Southeast Asia Hyatt Hotels. And Mr. Riza Kabul, the President, Architect Riza Kabul. May I request our presidential member, Mr. C. Subramaniam and Mr. Uma Shankar to please come up on stage and felicitate our session chair, Mr. Yogesh Thakkar. I request you to please stay back, sir, for the group photo.